Hey, hey, how's it going? If you're new here, my name is Jam and I love makeup. And if you're not new, thanks for coming back. I really appreciate you. Obviously, today I'm doing a Purple Rain video. And I'm very, very excited. Shocker, I know. I'm always excited, right? I'm going to use the latest Pat McGrath Labs holiday palette. This has a couple purples and they're really pretty. And I thought it would be a decent shades to use for a Purple Rain. So that's what I'm doing and I'm so excited. And I'm going to tell you a little bit about the shenanigans that I've been up to and a little bit about the shenanigans I'm going to get up to. I don't know what's happening, but I'm like a whole new person over here. So anyway, I'm going to whack on some eyeshadows and yammer at you, maybe include some pictures, and that'll be that. So I probably should stop the yammering now and get into it. Oh, right. You gotta take a picture of the palette, Jan, because Shazzy Doo prefers that with the little hand. She says it's better, and I am all about making Shazzy Doo happy. All right. 3, 4. I saved the card from the back of the palette box that said what the shade names were. Unfortunately, the print is microscopic, so I can't actually read it with my reading glasses. So we're gonna go with things like the darkest brown and call it good enough. So that's what I'm doing now, the darkest brown shade. I know, going in for brown and purple again, just to see. Okay, so shenanigans that we got up to. I was invited to go and meet Felicia. You know Felicia, one of the co-owners and magical brains behind Nomad Cosmetics. They were going to be somewhat local-ish to me, and she asked if it was close enough that we could like meet up for coffee or something, and I was like, oh my gosh, yes, absolutely. So we did, and she is absolutely lovely. She is as kind and sweet and smart as you would imagine she'd have to be, just based on, you know, the brand itself and the things that they do in the world and all of that. Holy moly. It was so cool. I just really liked her. We've chatted, you know, kind of a lot on like the Instagram private messenger thingy, and she's always been really nice to me. And we're very close in age. I'm a bit older than she is. But I don't know, we just kind of have hit it off from the beginning. So I was really excited to go and meet her and just, you know, chat. And it really genuinely feels like we're friends. All right, I'm gonna take the slightly lighter brownish shade. And it felt that way pretty much since we first started talking. She's just a really good human, obviously. You can't do what she does and not be a good human. So we had a lovely visit and I got to meet Auntie. We have been saying his name wrong this whole time. I have always pronounced it Auntie, like it's spelled, which I should have known was wrong, but you know, you don't know till you know. So yes, his name is pronounced Auntie, if you want to pronounce it correctly in the future, which, you know, it's a little bit of a getting used to thing because with my nieces and nephew, I'm Auntie, or, you know, Auntie Jan or Ani for the ones who can't pronounce the T. So, and he was very nice as well. And I got to meet Baby Nomad and totes adorbs. Holy moly. It was just so cool. It was so cool to be able to sit and chat with Felicia and, I don't know, just get to know her. She's such an amazing human. All right, I'm going to go into the purple shade. There's like an icy light purple, and then there's this regular purple with some maybe blue shimmer in it. Oh, I wanted to use, yeah, let me prime my eyes first. I want to use the Divina Cosmetics Specular Primer. It is great for a shimmer. And I don't know that Pat McGrath necessarily needs help in the shimmer department, but I want this to go on and be as beautiful as I can make it. So yeah, I mean, what an amazing opportunity. And I did warn her that if I fangirled a bit, she only had herself to blame. And I did, definitely. I mean, I tried to control myself and, you know, be cool, and it was easy, you know, like meeting somebody who you admire the way that I admire Felicia. It could be weird, you know, she's this incredibly successful business owner, human being, like all the things. But she was so nice and so kind, and I felt really, really lucky to be able to hang out with her for a while. And then Mike and I, whilst out and about and road tripping, went to Salem, Massachusetts. We'd never been there before, and we figured, let's hit it. You know, we're here. It's July, so it won't be crazy crowded or crazy scary for crazy me. I don't do scary. So that was really cool. I'm going to insert pictures as I'm chatting with you here because there was just so much. I would never go during Halloween or, you know, that time of year because that's just not my idea of a good time. But I was telling my friend She-Rock about it, and she was saying that they were hoping to go this year. And if you're looking for a hotel recommendation, let me tell you, I'm showing you the photos hopefully, but Mike took it upon himself to find a hotel and book it and do all the things. And usually, like, I'm in charge of travel stuff, but he did, and that was awesome. And so the pictures online, I might as well do my other eye since we're chatting. The pictures online looked beautiful, like knock your socks off, gorgeous. And I was like, all right, what are the odds, really? We get there, and I was shocked. Like, this isn't a place for people like us, you know, like it was beautiful. One of the most beautiful places I've seen in person. It was so nice. Flowers everywhere, a huge fountain that Mike pretended to pee in, because of course he did. The grounds were spectacular, and I mean, it was hot. But I really wanted to be outside and check things out. If you're not new here, you know, we don't go much. I mean, we do the cruise thing once, you know, a year, every couple of years. But that's pretty much the gist of it. So I wanted to make the most of being out in the world and someplace that beautiful. So we went to the front desk and asked if it was okay if we just, walked around, and they said, of course, do it. And said that there was a little, like, 5-minute walk to the beach. And I was like, the beach? And he said, yeah. I said, like, the ocean? And he looked at me kind of funny, and he was like, yeah. So I said, listen, not for nothing, I'm a better person when I'm by the ocean. So, just, it's best for everybody if I can go. And so he gave us directions, and it was literally, like, still on the grounds. You had to go through one of the little buildings, or like breezeway almost, and it led to like the backyard area. But then there was a path like in the dirt with tree roots, and it was nothing more than a path, but it was doable and so cool. And we got most of the way there, and then there was sand, and my chair doesn't do sand, like, at all. That would be bad news bears. So I wasn't able to go all the way to the beach and see the ocean with my own 2 eyes, but Mike walked down and took some pictures and a little video, so I got to see it. And sitting where I was waiting for him, I could smell the sea air, which was just, it was good. I loved it. So since we couldn't go to, the beach itself, we figured we'd go back and walk around. And I was waiting for him to do something. I can't remember now what it was, but a woman he was checking out one of the buildings. We were most of the way back, and a woman walked by, and she said, "Isn't it beautiful down there?" And I said something like, it was amazing. I said I didn't get to go see it myself. And so she whips out her phone, and she's like, "I'll show you some pictures." And I said, as I was saying, Mike walked down and got some pictures, and she was like, "Oh, okay." But like, without hesitation, this stranger just offered to show me pictures, time out of her life to stop and show me. And that was like almost as cool as going to the beach and the beautiful grounds and the flowers and everything, to just run into somebody else who was just good and thoughtful and kind, and it's just so cool. And Salem was great. It was super duper hot. Mike made friends with a pirate, so that was very cool. And he was talking about, not being able to just buy black eyeshadow. You have to like buy a whole palette. And I said, actually, you could check out Divina Cosmetics. They have singles, and the black is pretty darn good. And he was like, thanks. And I said, and if you use code Jan. I was like, I'm Jan. It was cool. The pirate was very, very nice. And we saw the like memorial area for some of the women and a couple of the men who were hanged during the Salem witch trials. So that was pretty intense. And it suggests in the literature that Mike was reading that you should bring a little token for your visit. And I didn't realize we were going there and doing that. So I don't know if this makes me a wackaloon or not, but I carry little totems in my purse. Nothing like significant, but I always have a few things. So I took out 5 of them. I had a ladybug shrinky dink, a dragonfly shrinky dink, a square coin from one of our travels, a gold coin from 1 of our travels, and then 2 little coins from 1 of our travels, and then 2 little coins from 1 of our travels, and then 2 little coins from 1 of our travels, and then 2 little coins from 1 of our travels, and then 2 little coins from 1 of our travels, and then 2 little coins from 1 of our travels, and then 2 little coins from 1 of our travels, and then 2 little coins from 1 of our travels, and then 2 little coins from 1 of our travels, and then 2 little coins from 1 of our travels, and then 2 little coins from 1 of our travels, and then 2 little coins from 1 of our travels, and then 2 little coins from 1 of our travels, and then 2 little coins from 1 of our travels, and then 2 little coins from 1 of our travels, and then 2 little coins from 1 of our travels, and then 2 little coins from 1 of our travels, and then 2 little coins from 1 of our travels, and then 2 little coins from 1 of our travels, and then 2 little coins from 1 What was the fifth thing? I can't remember, but I don't know. It felt like the thing to do, or I don't know, important in the moment. But I only had 5, so we had to sort of pick and choose, and you know, we're going through, and there's quite a few. I didn't count them, but there were quite a few. And so we're going, and I only had one left, and I was like, I don't know. And as we're walking and reading names and dates, suddenly there's Sarah Good. And I was just like, oh, she's the one who gets the last one. And I don't know much at all about the Salem witch trials. Again, not into scary stuff, and you know, killing women for being women just feels gross to me. And I have to limit how much grossness. But initially I was like, you know, some dude decided that this was going to happen, but it wasn't. It was girls, women attacking women. How crazy is that? So that made me feel kind of bad, and also really glad that I am who I am, and would never ever be that kind of person. So that's the look. Super simple. I'm of course going to get the mirror and look up close and personal, make sure things look okay, but I think it looks pretty okay for now. So I'm going to go double check and whack on the rest of my makeupy bits, and I'll come back and show you the finished look, and that'll be Purple Rain done and dusted. Special little video for my friend Felicia. I'll be right back. All right, I'm back, obviously, and everything is done. Let me scoot you in for an up-close reconnoiter. I just used the 2 brown mats on my lower lash line, some mascara, face bits, and that's the look done. I like it. I think it's really super simple and wearable and lovely. So yeah. While I was doing my face, I thought of something I forgot to tell you. Probably a lot of somethings, because on the way home I was telling Mike, like, how am I going to make coherent sentences when talking about this, because it was just such a cool thing to do. And for Felicia, she's a regular girl like the rest of us, but I think she's amazing. And when I said about, you know, fangirling and only having herself to blame, she was like, no way, I'm gonna be fangirling. So yeah, I don't know, it was just cool. It was so cool. So yeah. Anyway, if you are wondering what I brought with me to like this little road trip that we did, it's not a lot, but I will show you what I brought if you want. Also, I'll tell you what the potential tentative plan is for next, because as I'm filming this, today is Mike's birthday. So this will go up actually in the morning, because after we got home from our little road trip, I piddled and pondered and just like cleaned up around the house a little bit. Not that it was yucky, just, you know, organizing some things that were making me crazy. Like if there's a rogue cord somewhere, like we have a spot for it, but in the day-to-day, sometimes I just don't get to it, even though every time I see it, it makes me mad. You know, stuff like that. Organizing some of my makeup stuff. So I'm almost completely done in this room. I'm pretty much done in the kitchen and the living room. So I'm going to get Mike to fix the couch pillows because they look cuter when they're fixed. And then I'm going to show you some before and afters because I think it's very exciting, but not in this video. This video is already going to be long enough. So I did use my Tarte concealer buhbyes as my like foundation, and I'm using my purple NYX highlighter because purple. And then two of my NYX blushes. We've got my Butter Half, which is the first one, and All the Butter, which is number 12, because, you know, purple. And then my L'Oreal Infallible 24-Hour Fresh Wear Powder Foundation. It's almost gone, which means it's incredibly annoying to get onto the poof and apply. And my lip is a combination of Clary's and Ginger Snap from Cosmic Beauty. Okay, let me move all of these things and then I'll tell you, or I'll show you and tell you all the things I brought on our little trip. Okay. I took a picture. I thought I took a picture of both of my bags, but I did bring my Nomad beach bag as like my duffel bag suitcase type thing. And of course my Nomad travel bag, but I also brought these. So I picked up 2 of these plastic cases off the Zon. If there's any interest, just let me know and I'll link them for you. They're hard plastic and I use them for like my spillables. So I brought my Charlotte Tilbury setting spray. I knew it was gonna be hot, and when I don't get hot often, but when I do, I sweat like it's my job, which is super attractive. But I wanted my makeup to stay on, so I use that as my primer for my face. And I always bring a little bottle of water to wet shimmers if I want to. And I brought my little travel commodity juice expressive. I love this stuff so much. I thought I could pour the big bottle into this one and continue to use it as a travel. We can't figure out how to open the big bottle. I didn't want Mike to break it, so let me know if you know if that's possible, because this is perfect. This little travel thingy is perfect for, well, travel, weirdly. The big one weighs a ton. Probably, if I had to guess, it's gotta weigh like 2 pounds maybe. That's really heavy, especially for me. But I thought since these are hard plastic and they zipper, it'd be really good for liquids. I also had in my bottle of hair stuff. I can't use like a curling hair thing straight up. I have to dilute it. I don't like stuff in my hair, which is a problem because otherwise my hair looks real bad. So I dilute it, and I brought that as well as my Almay eye makeup remover pads, all in the little case. It was perfect. And then I randomly threw stuff back in the bags and cases when I was packing up. But the night before, when I'm in here getting ready, I am almost never going anywhere. I don't go anywhere. I don't leave the house as a rule. And I'm just doing my makeups for me because I enjoy the entire process. So I knew that night that I would be, needing to kind of get ready at a reasonable pace and not just sit back and enjoy the process and shenanigans and pause for singing breaks and all of that. So I opened these and used them as like little drawers almost to keep my things organized. So I had like brows in one with my eye primer, eyeshadow brushes, and then like pencils, lips, things like that in the other one. And it worked out really well. So yeah, and I mean, opened, you could stack them if you wanted to. So that was pretty great, but let's keep it moving. Sheesh, man. Eyebrows. I brought my Ulta Clear Brow Gel and my Benefit Brow Styler thingy. I picked up a couple of these off of the BoxyCharm site ages ago. I like that just for whacking on like the center part of my brow, like just like in here, just to fill it in a little bit. And then I of course brought my Eye Method and NYX Lift and Snatch brow pen marker thingies. The same LA Girl eye primer stick thingy that I always use. And this is very random because, like I said, I packed things, just throw them in the bag. I brought my Tier concealer duo thingy. I had that video ready to go for Tuesday, and I had filmed it a while ago. Let me tell you, when I say I have thoughts about the foundation and concealer, I have thoughts. I brought my Hocus Pocus Sistas, is that what it's called? Yeah, my eyeliner. I knew we were going to be checking out Salem, and that just seemed super obvious. I'm like, duh, of course I should. And I brought my Shooting Star lip gloss from Beauty Moon because I love it. And this Dominique Cosmetic lip liner in the shade Brown Sugar. I did not end up using that one, but I needed to bring some options. I didn't end up using the Shooting Star lip either. I went with liner and a different lipstick. But these little cases are very, very handy. If you were in search of something, I don't think you'd be disappointed. Also, and they're having their like Prime Days thing right now, so they may even be cheaper. I typically buy things when it's like one of those little like deals where it has the red Prime Day, their Prime deal or something like that. I don't know. I brought my NARS Soft Matte Concealer. This is in Creme Brulee, Light 2.5. I've been using this as like a spot concealer or eye primer. It's a little bit too heavy, or it used to be a little bit too heavy to use under my eyes, but I've used it a couple times. It looks okay, but it's almost gone. I may or may not repurchase. I don't really know. My contour, I brought the Sephora one. This is in the shade 2 light to medium. And then my Essence Keep Me Covered powder foundation in 40 light medium. I think I brought 2. I don't think I used light medium. That was days ago, so now I can't remember, but okay, now the big boy. Come here, you can do it. My Nomad Air. I can't lift this, it's really heavy. I'll show you what I've done. It's the Nomad Air travel case. I really should have more of these. Maybe I'll pick up another one. I, of course, brought my Essence Flawless Skin Trio loose setting powder. This is in it's got words. I don't know if they have different colors. I want to say they don't, but I could be wrong. I was once before. And of course, a puff to apply. I love that powder. Like, love that powder. Because it was packed, I'm using an old one from, of course I put it away. I'll leave it on the screen. And I don't like that nearly as much, but I'm using up my powders. I, of course, brought my NYX lip. It's not a lip thing at all. It is a highlighter stick. There's a matte end and a shimmery end. I use the matte end to contour my yips because, you know, as you age, they like to flatten out and just, you know, get wide instead of full and lovely. I, of course, brought a Laneige sleeping mask, which needs to go back in my bedroom because that's where it lives. I apply that stuff in the evening when I go to bed, and then I apply it again before I fall asleep. And yeah, I love it. All right, I brought my little mushroom gloss from Beauty Moon Cosmetics because I wore that on our first travel day. And my birthday suit lip from Dolly Parton Beauty. We're almost there. I brought my Danessa Myricks Yummy Skin Powder Balm thingy. This is in shade 3.5 because, again, knew I was gonna be wearing my makeup all day and sweating, and that just does amazing things for keeping the oils at bay. I don't look like a grease monkey when I'm done. At the end of the day, it's fantastic. Yeah, I used 60 medium tan from the Essence powder foundation. I really like that. And for like a couple of bucks, why not? I also brought my Maybelline Express Brow. This is in the shade 260. Does it have a name? If it does, I can't read it. And I ended up using this one and not the clear. And my LA Girl Ultimate Intense liner in Lasting Brown because it went with the eyeshadow that I brought. And then my L'Oreal Telescopic Carbon Black Mascara. It's just a good mascara. Thought about bringing lashes, and then I thought if it rained or if I got too sweaty, that could be bad. So I didn't do lashes. And I brought my brand new to me, thank you to Erlene, Sugar Drizzle highlight palette. Man, I love this thing. I've only used it less than a handful of times, and already I'm sad that it's going to be gone one day, which is ridiculous. And then I brought my Blend Bunny Bare Cheeks palette. I ended up using this shade in the buff, like the darkest brown over on the right here, as my bronzer, and then I used this red and the red and the pink, those two, as my blush. And I thought it looked cute. In typical Jan fashion, did not take any pictures of it because, you know, why would I do that? And then my lip liner was the NYX in Natural. I love this lip liner, like a lot. It's so good. And then my eyeshadow, I brought Oslo and Abu Dhabi. I love these. I thought they were pretty good picks because it was one night, you know, 2 days of basically traveling and one night. So I didn't want to bring too much, and I wanted to make sure I had everything I could maybe want. And I think I did pretty good. I don't know what you think or how you travel with makeups, but this felt like a reasonable amount to bring with me. And I brought a dress for the next day. Totally forgot jammies. So, you know, that went. Which is, you know, preferable to clothes, but I usually wear clothes. There's usually kids around. Yeah, so that's everything. Now I'm thinking, do I just put the things back in the bag and take exactly the same things with me? Because I think Mike and I are going to go up to Maine for just like an overnight. Drive up, see things, get a lobster roll, stay the night, see some more things, perhaps something else seafoody the next day, and then come home. We used to, way back when, before we had grandbabies and all of that, we'd just like take a day trip, drive up, get lunch, drive home. It's been a while since we've done that. So I am trying really hard to do things that are more me and Mike and not me and Mike and all the babies. It's hard because I want to give them experiences and do things with them, but this trip reminded me that we probably should do things together too. So that's what we're doing. Anyway, that's it. That's all I've got. I may perhaps film all my thoughts on all I bought in June because my face is done. I haven't worn makeup in days. I've just been here piddling and pondering, and I don't know, usually I'm like, I want to film and I want to edit and I want to have things ready to go, and I just came back like, I'm just gonna do whatever I feel like doing for a couple of days. I did paint my nails yesterday. Shazzy, if you noticed, they look weird. They do look weird. I wanted to do like a two-tone pink swirly thing, but the two shades that I chose aren't quite different enough for it to look like I didn't just mess them up. So anyway, maybe I'll get a chance to redo them. I feel like I've prioritized everything over my nails lately, which is such a weird thing for me. Okay, I should stop yammering. This video is probably way too long, but hopefully you enjoyed hanging out with me. I genuinely, honestly missed you and couldn't wait to come back and tell you all about it and tell you how amazing Felicia is. And if I hadn't already genuinely loved her as a human being, I definitely would have after meeting her. She is so sweet and so pretty. So pretty and full of life. She's amazing. She's done amazing things. Oh my gosh. You should ask her. She climbed Machu Picchu. I think that's what she said. My memory is terrible. Because the whole time I'm like, I want to remember what she's saying. But I was so distracted by like just being with her and enjoying that I didn't remember everything. She and Mike got along beautifully. If you know Mike, you'll know that that's pretty cool because he's a maniac on the floor. But anyway, yeah, it was so cool. It was like meeting, I don't know, someone you admire. No, it was meeting someone I admire, but you know what I mean? Like somebody famous and incredible. That's how it felt for me, because she is an amazing human and I get to know her, which feels pretty darn cool. So, okay. Yeah. Anyway, okay, I'm gonna go because boy howdy. Hopefully you enjoyed this. If you did, give it a thumbs up. If you didn't, give it a thumbs down. This was a purple rain look, not a gush fest about Felicia, though that's kind of what it ended up being. And I'm not even sorry. If you did like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you didn't, give it a thumbs down. Either way, I appreciate you hanging out with me today. Be good and remember to be kind to you.